What is going on, everyone? Stevo Supremo here, and I am just another game collector. And last night, the headache with Monster Hunter Wilds. That's why I have Monster Hunter Rise sitting here, because I don't have the physical copy for it yet. The headache with that game on Steam last night made me realize once again just how much I appreciate physical media and why we need to keep physical media alive, even though in the future it seems like it won't make much of a difference anyways, because half the time these games are releasing broken and need patches anyways. But still, we're going to get into it, the physical media, what happened last night, and why we need to keep it going and hopefully keep holding out these companies for the next couple console generations to hold strong and keep giving us physical media. So as we all know, for the past few years, it seems like the consoles have been wanting to take a shift to an all digital marketplace, I want to say Microsoft being the ones who are closest to wanting to do that. The initial release of their Xbox and everything, they were just wanting to have all digital system or all digital marketplace, and then they surprised everyone like, okay, we hear you, we're going to release a disc version and everything. Like, that's been going on for years now. So I think they're the closest ones to wanting to do it. But we see, like Sony, you get your digital console, you have your disc console. Even on the new anniversary, like Pro model, you had to buy the disc drive separate. So these companies want to get away from it and go to an all digital marketplace. But again, we've been holding out strong, so we'll see how long it will last. But again, I'm not anti-digital. Like I said, I have a ton of games on Steam. A lot of times during the sales and stuff, you can get games really dirt cheap. So there's no fault in wanting to have it. I enjoy mini games on my PC these days. But most of the time, I have a physical copy of that game as well. But if you're like me and grew up back in the day with cartridge-based stuff, like your game just had to be done. It had to be finished, ready to go. Whatever faults were in it, there were no patches, there were no installs that were going to happen to improve that game. I really did not experience anything like that until I want to say Halo 2, where I started getting some patches and stuff because that had heavy online functionality, and that was mainly for the online portion of the game. But back in the day, what you got was what you would get. The only thing that would happen, and that was normally, there's only like bigger title games that normally do this. Ones, for example, Ocarina of Time, that would have different variations that would release over time. You would see the code in the bottom, and there are different codes where different things would have been changed in a later release of the game. Like this Player's Choice Million Seller is not the same version of Ocarina of Time that would have released before it. You'll see on the code at the bottom of the difference. And then you can go on a website to see what kind of changes were made into it. Sometimes it's stuff you don't even notice. Other times it's something that's pretty big that speedrunners will choose a specific game because it might have a specific glitch they can still do in it. But for the most part, what you got is what you got. Even with games like on GameCube and PS2, from my knowledge, there was nothing that really got patched for these games, even though they had broadband capabilities back in the day. They weren't really used to connect and update or patch anything. And then we have the issues of just games getting delisted from marketplaces. And I just had a couple examples here of games you just can no longer get on digital marketplaces, mainly due to licensing issues and them not getting renewed. So the games get removed off. So if you do not have the physical copies and had not already purchased it, there is no way for you to continue to buy that game online. Your only way is might be able to pirate it on your PC or have the physical copy. And most of the time when that happens, these physical copies go up in price. So it's like a battle of making sure you get it first. You don't know when something's going to get delisted, so you don't know when something's going to shoot up in value. That's just not anything you can predict. And then you get things like they're trying to do these days. I think something had passed where they're starting to do with on digital games like a notification saying that you don't really own the rights to this game. So you don't own the game. So at any point, it seems like they can just take it away from you. I need to do some more research and get clarification on that if you guys know. leave it in the comments below. I forgot what triggered that, but I remember that happened earlier this year, or maybe at the end of last year, where just digital media, you're probably not even going to own it. So at any time when it gets shut down, your stuff is gone. Uh, the stuff like going on with, I think, the game like The Crew, like people are trying to keep that alive, and then servers get pulled down, and boom, your game's gone. So the all digital stuff is just, it can provide many headaches, and especially with the headaches I dealt with last night with Monster Hunter Wilds, because boy, oh boy, I decided to get it on Steam first. I was like, you know what? I will go ahead and get it on Steam. The game looks better, it runs better, it plays better on the PC. So let me go ahead and go with that. So I went ahead and pre-ordered it a few days ago and had it pre-downloaded, mind you, on the computer. So at 9 o'clock, hopefully there could just be a quick little 2-second download and boom, you're good to go and you can play Monster Hunter Wilds. Well, that was not the case at all. 9 o'clock hit, nothing happened. Restart Steam, nothing's happening. 10 minutes later, it finally starts to unpack. I have no idea what that means. I've never pre-ordered anything on Steam, so I don't know. It says the game's unpacking. That took like 45 minutes for the game to unpack. I'm like, okay. So I'm browsing through some of the store marketplace because all this DLC stuff had released, and I noticed like, hey, it's got this patch for high res texture pack. I'm like, sweet, it's going to make it look even better. So I'll make sure to click on that to download when the game is done doing this unpacking phase. Now, mind you, I had planned on wanting to go to bed at 11 o'clock still. So I was hoping to get 2 hours of playtime in the game and then go to bed at 11 o'clock. Once all that process finished, I hit that button to download the high-res texture package, and the game turns on and goes to a black screen and doesn't proceed any further. So I Alt F4 it, and what do you know, after I Alt F4, when I see a download starting, it's for the whole game again. It was like a 69 gigabyte download. I was like, what in the world? What was the purpose of me pre-ordering and preloading this thing if it's all downloading again? So normally that's not an issue. I got really fast internet, 60 gig download will be done in like 3 minutes here at my house. The problem is on like a launch day with Steam, which apparently over 1 million users were playing the game on Steam last night, like setting records. It just clogs up the servers and you can't download anything fast. My download would start and stop. It would get like 10 megs a second, 10 megabytes a second, all the way down to nothing. The game took like an hour to download, even with my fast like gigabyte download speed internet here. So it's just one of those headaches and issues with all digital stuff. And once that happened, the game was finally ready to play around, I want to say it was like, man, 10, like 48 was when I could finally play the game. And you boot it up and you have to compile shaders. That takes 5 to 10 minutes to compile shaders. And then it's 11 o'clock. It was time for me to want to go to bed. I went ahead and created my character and played through the first like intro game that was part of the demo. So it didn't take long at all. And then I saved it and stopped there. But it was just a headache the whole evening having to deal with this when the whole purpose was so I could play it earlier, kind of get the jump start and enjoy my night playing it before today on Friday. And I was like, man, I was going to wait to get the physical release when it got cheaper, but I might go ahead and just double dip today and return the Steam copy, because I think you got like 4 hours of gameplay or within a certain amount of time, and then you can return it on Steam and get a refund, and just go out and get the PS5 copy. Maybe the PS5 copy has a day one patch that has some texture packages in it as well, so I don't know. But that's just the other headache. Even if you get something these days and it's physical, chances are it's going to need a download or something and it's not going to work. So in the future, if you don't have that patch downloaded on there and there's no way to get to that patch, you're playing a broken game. So I don't know what the resolution is going to be, but all I know is it really made me appreciate my physical games and media from the past that just work. They just work when you put them in. And again, it's something I brought to myself, so I know it's like Why are you complaining about something you did on yourself? But it just was a pain in the butt when you're looking forward to playing a game or you had your time set aside and it just kind of gets ruined like that, which I guess is to be expected and should be expected in the future. And I know it's a minor thing. Like, yeah, I got delayed from playing it for a day. I can get on there and start playing it right now, but it just stunk. So I needed to vent a little bit. So what do you guys think? The all digital future. Are you hoping it holds out a little bit longer like I am and we can keep our physical media going? Let me know in the comments below, and I'll catch you in the next one.